Hi Cancer, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So this is going to be your love and spirituality reading for the rest of February, and this will be for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And I'll also be doing an extended video, so make sure you check the description box when you're done watching this one. So, like I said in the Scorpio reading, I am a bit drained this month with all my personal readings and with my monthly readings. My energy is just zapped. So that's why I'm behind the camera instead of in front of it. So I hope that you don't mind. But let's jump right into your reading. So I already pulled your cards for the past position. So the Justice card came out in the reverse along with the Three of Pentacles and along with the Hierophant in reverse. So it looks like in the past you wanted to build something solid with someone, because the Three of Pentacles talks about building a very solid structure with the help of someone else. So it's like collaborating to build something. This could have been something with your career, like a business partner, or this could have been a romantic relationship where you were trying to build something that would last long term with someone that you emotionally invested in. But I'm feeling like the person that you were involved with wasn't very loyal, because the Hierophant being here talks about long-term commitment, stability. It's the Taurus card, so Tauruses are known for being very loyal and stable when they're on a high vibration. So I'm seeing that this person has the opposite of that energy. This person could have had Taurus in their chart, but I think I'm just more so seeing it as the opposite of Taurus energy, meaning that they weren't loyal, they weren't stable, that they couldn't be trusted, and they could have been really just kind of feeding you a fairy tale is what I'm hearing, or like selling you a dream, making it seem like you were both in this together and that you were both going to have something that was going to last a long time, but really you were the only one that was building towards that plan, you know? So it's like when you get involved with someone and you're both like, oh, we're gonna get married, we're gonna have kids, and in your mind when you say this, you genuinely mean it, but in their mind they don't really mean it. They're just like going along with it or trying to sell you a dream so they can manipulate you in some type of way. Very annoying. I can't, people like that, I just, you know, but you have to understand that hurt people, so that's how I kind of move past that energy of being very frustrated and annoyed with these type of people, because clearly they are broken on the inside in some way, because why else would you behave that way towards someone who loves you, you know? It's not right. So the Justice card is here in the reverse. Just like I said, it's not right. You feel like it was very unfair to you. You feel like you just feel like you got the short end of the stick, or like they just didn't do you right. And I think you are right. I really do feel like you came in with genuine intentions, and you came in with the mindset of, okay, I'm in this for the long haul and I'm genuine about this and I genuinely care about you and genuinely love you. But it was a whole nother story on their end, unfortunately. Let me pull one more for that Hierophant card. Feeling a lot of resentment with that Justice card. I also feel like a lot of you are quite wise, spiritually gifted, or just very wise, and this person could have resented you for that as well. You'd be surprised at people who get in relationships with you because they're jealous of you. I know it sounds very backwards, but sometimes people can see the light in you and they don't see it in themselves. So they will go out of their way to seduce you and then try to destroy that light in you. It's very unfortunate, but it happens. It definitely happens. We'll pull one more for that Hierophant. Yep, Seven of Swords with the Hierophant. Someone who was deceitful, sneaky, just not good intentions, I would say, unfortunately. But luckily, this is in the past. This is the past position, so let's see what's going on. Let me take this out. Let me see what's going on in the present for you, Cancer. Okay, so we have the Six of Swords. The Emperor. And the Judgment card. Scorpio got the Judgment card in this position too, I believe. So it looks like one of your major blockages right now is trying to find inner peace and not being able to. I feel like your thoughts keep going back to that person or back to that situation, only because it was so unfair with the Justice card being there in the reverse. I really do think that you just feel like you got the short end of the stick, and you feel like almost like you want this person to pay for what they've done, and so your mind kind of keeps going back to what they've done because you feel like they didn't pay for it. You feel like they kind of got away with what they did, and it's just really not fair the way that you were treated. So your task is going to be to try to find a way to have a peace of mind, or to find a peace of mind. For me, whenever I ended situations like that where I felt like I was done wrong, I like to actually put myself in that other person's shoes and show empathy. And a lot of people won't agree with this. A lot of people will think that, oh, you're letting that person off easy, or, you know, like, a lot of people think that's a weakness to have empathy towards someone who hurt you. But honestly, that's the only way that I was able to move out of this state of just feeling this, like, wanting revenge, like this vengeance feeling that I had, this vengeful feeling. It was kind of like overtaking my energy, and it was just keeping me very stuck and low vibrational. But once I started to think about, this person has had a very rough... Sorry, my camera cut off, so if the angle changed a little bit, that's why. But like I was saying, once I start to think about the fact that this person has had a very rough life, or a rough childhood, or I just really think about the fact that, you know, only people who are very hurt on the inside would inflict this type of pain on someone else, then it kind of helps to release me from this feeling of being powerless, or this feeling that they have some sort of power over me, or they won in some way, you know. And with the Emperor card coming up as well, I do feel like there's a need for you to take your power back. Because like I said, being in a situation like this can make you feel extremely powerless. You feel like this person has stripped everything from you. You feel kind of foolish. You feel kind of ashamed. It's like all the shame that they carry within themselves, they've now placed it on you. And that's exactly why people do this sort of thing. It's like they're walking around with this internalized shame, and they're broken on the inside, and they need somewhere to put it. So they find someone and act like they're in love with the person, and then they put it off on you. They make you carry the weight and the burden of their pain and their shame. So there's a need for you to take your power back and not allow that to happen. And I think that it will benefit a lot of you to practice what I said in terms of trying to think from a more empathetic standpoint, or from just a place of understanding why they've done what they did. And that doesn't mean that it's okay what they did. It doesn't mean that it excuses your pain, or that it means that your pain isn't valid. It doesn't mean that at all. It's just a way for you to take your power back and to not allow that weight to be on your heart or mind anymore. I do feel like a lot of you will heal through movement, moving forward and really building a solid life of your own. So the life that you planned on building with them, I feel like you can still have it, but you would just have to have it without them. And you know, that sucks and that hurts, because when you build, when you have an image in your mind of how you want your future, and you include someone else in it, you do have to excuse me, you do have to kind of grieve that loss in your mind, or that image of what things could have been. You have to grieve it, but you still have a whole life ahead of you, and you can still build a life for yourself that you want. I know that I was in a relationship where we planned on having a very happy, prosperous life together. We talked about having kids. We talked about buying a mansion together. And it wasn't something that was far-fetched. It was something that was very doable, because he was in the music industry. So it was something that it very well could have happened. And we would just plan, like, okay, this is what we're going to do when you make your first $1 million. You know, we're going to have a party and all this and that. And so you can imagine, like, when I had to let go of that fantasy, or I had to let go of that image in my mind, it was devastating when I found out that he wasn't being sincere at all. And I had to grieve that fantasy. I had to let it go. But then also I told myself, okay, you can still do all this on your own. You can still focus on your own career. That party that you wanted to plan for each other when you make your first $1 million, you can still do that by yourself, or you can still do that with someone else. So it's like kind of picking yourself up and understanding that you still have this whole prosperous, happy life ahead of you. You just have to, like I said, grieve the idea that things are not going to happen the way exactly that you wanted them to happen. But I feel like things will be even better when someone is taken out of your life. When someone is removed from your life, I feel like God never really leaves you hanging. He always puts something else in your life as a replacement. So for example, with my past situation, after he left, that's when my YouTube channel really started taking off. That's when, you know, I started getting more and more messages of people saying how much I've helped them and how much, you know, they're grateful for me. So it's like he left my life, but something better came in its place. And I feel like a lot of you have that to look forward to as well. So the Judgment card is also here. I do feel like the Judgment card talks about divine intervention. So it's like God had to step in, or the universe, whatever you believe in, had to step in order to kind of remove you from that situation, because it was no longer serving you. And also I feel like you were kind of wrapped up in the emotions behind it, so you would have never been able to see this person for who they truly was. It's like when you have on those rose-colored glasses and you're emotionally attached, you never want to see the bad in the person that you're in love with. You never want to see the harm that they're doing. You only want to see the good in them. You only want to see what fits your fantasy. And sometimes the universe has to step in and make a judgment call on your behalf because you're not strong enough to in that moment. When we're in love, it does make us kind of weak. It does make us kind of blind sometimes. And that's why we have that higher power, and we have, you know, that divine backing that helps us to remove ourselves from that situation when we're not strong enough to, or when we don't have the right clarity to do so. So it does hurt. It is unfortunate. But you will continue. I mean, you will go on to live a happy, prosperous life if you want to, and understand that nothing is happening to you, everything is happening for you. So even this situation kind of crumbling and coming to an end is working out in your benefit. I bet that through the situation, you've learned a lot about yourself, and you've grown a lot, and it's like you are a completely new person. It's like a rebirth that took place through this situation. And I think that something like that is valuable, like for the rest of your life. That's a life skill that you can carry with you now. A lot of people, if you think about, like, you know, some of your elders in your family maybe, and how some of them are still stuck in a very type of ignorant or toxic mindset. I know that I know people, not just in my family, but just in the community in general. Like, I'll come across elderly people who are just very ignorant. Like, their mindset's ignorant. The way they handle situations is ignorant. It's like they never have grown out of this toxic mindset. And so a lot of us are blessed because we have experienced these things early on, so that we could grow out of these things early, so that then we can have a prosperous life, and we can break these habits early on, so then we can truly enjoy our lives and truly go on to start a happy family, truly go on to find real love, truly go on to have a prosperous career or a successful career. You know, it's like all of that debris and all of that baggage is being moved out of the way early on, so that now for the rest of your life you can move towards a space of more peace and harmony, you know? So I hope that that was helpful, Cancer. I'm actually going to extend this, so I'm going to leave the link to the extension in the description box down below. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys over on my Vimeo channel.